And we are here at UCLA in Los Angeles, California. It's a beautiful day, sunny. The world's at peace. And we're about to hear the introductions. First, from Audrey.
Hi everybody, my name is Audrey.
Hi, Audrey.
So today I want to introduce you to my study buddy, Amy. They say life is all about finding people who are your kind of crazy. I'm not saying that Amy is crazy, but she is definitely one of a kind. So Amy was born and raised in Santa Barbara, California. She doesn't consider herself very athletic, but surprisingly she played volleyball for 6 years in her life. She also changed her hair color 7 times, and now she settles for blue. She's a very interesting person. I'm sure you'll enjoy meeting her once I share 3 stories from her past as a kid who refused to wear clothes and experienced her first time of embarrassment, her present fun outings with friends, and her future aspiring to become the head of marketing at Pixar Studios. So she's definitely one of a kind. First of all, so when she was little, she often refused to wear clothes. Well, I mean, she had underwear on, but you know, like we all had that phase in life where we just run around crazy, very free-spirited. She's one of those kids. So at preschool, sometimes during nap time, she would refuse to wear clothes, and of course at home she would run around without clothes on. So this one day when her parents were out and her 2 older brothers got into a fight, one brother ended up in his room blasting music. The other one dashed outside and wanted to drive away. So Amy frantically chased after her brother and left the house only to realize that the door locked behind her. And you can only guess that she's still in her underwear. So unfortunately, she was saw by her next door neighbor, this 60-year-old man. She was reaching for the back gate in an attempt to get in back into the house. So the old man helped Amy out, and then that's when she experienced her first time of embarrassment as a kid running around in her underwear. So the next story is more recent. Her friend Ian had never had a drink at UCLA, so she decided that they can have a fun night out, going to a party and meeting her 2 other friends. So she went to this party and she didn't realize that it was actually a fraternity party because it wasn't at a fraternity house. So she wanted to go in, and we all know that Ian was quickly stopped by one of the fraternity members. Ian was far from threatening. He looked like a human version of Big Bird, blonde curly hair, and he's pretty nice. So they were both surprised how that guy took a strong dislike to Ian, but this other fraternity member, Joey, instantly liked Ian and let him in. So after a few mixed up, they actually left the party and then found that their friends weren't there, so they decided to walk back to their dorm. On their way back, they bumped into this group of guys who dressed up like Justin Bieber circa 2013. So I'm talking about like diaper pants, expensive shoes, gold chains, and a snapback. Amy saw that this guy was holding a GoPro trying to film himself. So Amy asked him, "Are you making a documentary of yourself?" The guy whipped his head around and said, "Excuse me, but I'm a YouTube star. I have over 2 million subscribers." So Amy asked him, "So what is your username?" So he told her like this username, and then her and her friends looked him up on YouTube and didn't really recognize him. But it was pretty funny because he drove away in his Lamborghini, and that was just a very obscure night, and they had a very fun night out with her friends. Lastly, I want to share a story of Amy's future. So she aspires to wake up in a beautiful home in Bel Air overlooking Los Angeles. She will walk into her closet, everything is color-coded, sorted by types of clothes, and then she would change and wear something comfy and then head out to work in her Tesla. She would pull up in Pixar Studio in her assigned parking spot, and then she would be the head of marketing director at Pixar Studio. She aspires to make educational and entertaining films and shorts that can uplift society and also educate people in a fun and easy way. After work, she would meet up with her husband at a Mexican restaurant, and then she would have a very balanced work and personal life. So after sharing Amy's past, present, and future with you, I'm sure that you'll find Amy very interesting. She's one of a kind, and I hope once you get to know her better, she's very interesting. So I hope that tells you a little bit more about Amy. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's start over here today. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Peyton.
Hi, Peyton.
I really liked the way you described things instead of just explaining things pretty straightforward, like the part about Justin Bieber circa 2013, that's how it was, yeah. And just, you used really interesting language that kept me interested, and you just described the situations really well.
Thank you, Peyton. What would you like to see her do differently that would make her speech more effective?
Hi, I'm Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
I think, especially towards the end, you could have tied it back better to your introduction. You said a quote in the beginning, and I feel like you didn't tie it back to the front. And at the end of like each story, if you kind of gave a point like why you told that story.
The moral, yeah. Good. Those were good comments, Jennifer. Thank you. Well, I liked your opening quote, "You're kind of crazy." It's kind of jazzy, it's pithy, it's grabby, it's interesting. Like to see it brought back at the end and tie back, bookends, okay? Your presenting her as a one-of-a-kind with blue hair and this sort of thing was fine. Down-to-earth, free-spirited. What I'd say about your story is I want you to try to find the balance between how much is enough detail and too much detail. You went 530, and so you. But I don't want to discourage you because you're good at painting pictures, and I think we all could see your study buddy running around in her underwear throughout the neighborhood and trying to jump the fence, and so it was well told and an interesting story. The drink with Ian, with the fraternity boys, and then we got out to some other place, and I don't know, and I didn't get a moral out of that story, and I didn't get it so connected with her, but it was kind of an interesting story. On the third story, you just basically told us of her dream to live in Bel Air and to live happily ever after with every material want taken care of, which she believes will make her happy. So I hope she's right. On the your summary was good. Your conclusion was fine. The tie back we had a little, less than desirable tie back. You said no ums, ahs, or likes. Smile more. Facial expression, show more emotions, and let your hand gestures be more natural. How did it go, Audrey?
Okay, I just said
Yes?
I tried using more facial expression because it was awful watching myself on YouTube. And I think I can improve on hand gestures more and just loosening up a little bit more and talking in front of everybody.
Good. And do you practice with a live person when you rehearse?
Not yet.
Yeah, that helps. Mirrors don't get it. Yeah, so find a homeless guy or a friend or somebody and have them listen to you and tell them your goals and have them raise their hand every time you do a number and that sort of thing. But overall, you did a nice job. Thank you, Audrey. Okay, you're tall. Ooh, real tall. And you're wearing white. Okay, Amy is about to introduce her study buddy.
Hi, my name is Amy.
Hi,
and
Amy.
I'm going to be introducing you to Audrey. I would like to start off with a quote by Will Rogers, a humorist from vaudeville. He said, "You never get a second chance at a first impression." I've never had a more interesting introduction or first impression than I have had with Audrey. We were all there when we were told by a professor to stand up and make eye contact with someone and repeat the mantra, "I respect you," verbally and then eventually non-verbally. I can say without a doubt I have never had to do this with anyone else and was immediately rushed with the feeling of nervousness and awkwardness because it's just uncomfortable. And that feeling was immediately rushed away when I started talking to Audrey. She giggled and she took it totally seriously, which made it way less uncomfortable, and she was just so sweet. And that is exactly why I'm going to be introducing her to you today. I'm going to tell you about her past when she went fishing, her present when she met her boyfriend, and her future of where she hopes her life will lead. I know that you will enjoy Audrey for the exact same reason that I did. She's so sweet and kind and sincere, and I already know this from just a few conversations with her, so it's very, very powerful. So first I will start with the present. Or with the past, actually, not the present. She was about 5 years old when she went fishing with her brother and
Stay in
her
the
father.
power stance. Yeah, feet wider. Yeah, good.
She was about 5 years old when she went fishing with her brother and her father, and they were standing on a dock, and her father was getting ready to cast a line, and he told her to back up because he didn't want to hit her in the face or anything with the fishing hook. And so she kept backing up, and she kept backing up, till eventually she ended up just falling off of the dock and into the water. And she wasn't the best swimmer, because no 5-year-old is the best swimmer, and she remembers these bubbles going up around her face, and then all of a sudden being able to emerge out of the water. And the first thing her brother says to her after this very traumatic event of falling into the water is, "Did you see any fish?" Because he hadn't caught anything that day. So she was pretty shocked by that, but she's moved on, and I think she's probably a better swimmer now. Now I'm going to tell you about her present of when she met her boyfriend about 3 years ago. She realized she was going to be coming to UCLA, and she wanted to start making friends, so she joined a UCLA Facebook group for Taiwanese UCLA students because she is from Taiwan. So she organized a meetup for everyone in this group, and they met at an Italian restaurant. So this is where she met her boyfriend for the first time, and little to say, they did not immediately hit it off. She thought he talked too much and was kind of a know-it-all, but eventually over time they ended up getting along, and of course 3 years later they are still dating, so hooray for love. And she now is very thankful to have him in his life because both of their families live in Taiwan, and to have that support system is very important to her, and they are really able to rely on one another. I will now tell you about her future. Audrey now, as she has told me, is very busy, and she has a very busy school schedule and just a busy life in general, studying and working very hard. So she hopes that this is going to continue into her future, and that she will be a pediatric nurse, constantly doing rounds on patients and helping people as much as she can. She also hopes that if time and money allow it, she will be able to travel the world and become a world traveler every other year to go to a different country. So now that I have told you about Audrey's past, present, and future, I'm going to finish things off with a poem by a poet named Michael Peterson. He says, "First impressions, first words. Expressions, reactions. They can say a lot about a person. Good, bad, happy, or sad. Brings a smile or a frown. The eyes say so much. Breathe in and out. Think before you speak. First impressions last forever. Be the one they remember most." I have no doubt that Audrey will instill the same first impression that she gave me to many other people throughout her life because she is so, so kind. And I can say with confidence that I will always respect her. So I would like to introduce you to Audrey Chang.
Okay, I guess we're here.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
I really liked your speech. I thought it was very clear. You told us, I'm going to tell you about her past, and then her present, and her future, and, it was really easy to follow. And I really liked how you tied in, the whole thing about first impressions at the beginning, at the end of the poem, and, you used it to, say how, Audrey would be making good first impressions to everyone. So, it was very good. It just came together really nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
She wove it all together, didn't she, Audrey? Yes, please.
Hi, my name's Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
I really liked your speech, but you're talking a little bit fast. And just about the stories, I don't quite get the present stories. I know it's about first impression, but for the future story, you didn't really talk about the first impressions. And the story of about the present is just not sticky enough. It's just they meet each other.
Okay. That's honest. So they didn't stick for her. So that's good feedback to know. It's good to get honest feedback, right? Amy, I liked your speech. I like seeing your face in white, at least, in the camera. Remember to stay in the power stance. You had a tendency to want to cross your feet and your legs and not be a tripod. Love the way you introduced Will Roger as a vaudeville humorist. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Your time was around 5, so that was good. You went with this theme of you never get a second chance to make a good first impression, and so that was fine. And you told a story that, about that you made an allusion to the exercise that we all engaged in, and that was good. So we all had a common reference for that, and that was excellent. Your thesis preview was fine. Your 6th statement was good. Your first story about her falling in the lake was cute and funny, and it was, well done. Just maybe a little moral at the end of the story would be helpful. It could be to tie into a theme. I don't know about first impressions, but maybe the other theme that you talked about, that she's a nice person, respectful, and so forth. On the second story about that she was from Taiwan and formed a Facebook group and met her boyfriend who was a big mouth, and then she decided she was overlooking his big mouth, and they became better friends. Again, okay story. You got a story in there. A little moral at the end of the story, linking it somehow to her and her personality or something. That shows she took initiative. She showed leadership and getting the Facebook group together. And then the future story, being a nurse, that was fine. So your summary, your conclusion, your tie back were fine. I like, by the way, folks, I keep saying use a poem, a quote, a story, a joke, or a rhetorical question. Finally, somebody brings in some poetry. Thank you. And it was appropriate for your theme and the message at hand. So, and you read it. I would have read it, I agree with the comment over here, a little slower. You zip right along with your delivery. I'd work on slower, faster, softer, louder. So you're interested. What's she going to do next? How's she going to talk next? Emphatic style of delivery. Your kanais. Speak slowly and clearly. Don't sway too much, and don't say like or How to go?
The speaking fast is probably not that great. I think in general I'm a really fast speaker, so I think I need to just practice going slower.
I think the way to practice going slower is not to quote, dumb it down.
Yeah.
Today I am Amy and I will present 100. But don't be pedantic or condescending, but just vary it.
Yeah.
Go slow. Start slow so people get used to your vocal pattern, and then you can pick it up, slow it down for emphasis in certain places. I think that worked the best. Did a nice job. Thank you. We have time for one more volunteer. Come on down. My battery's running down. I have to call on somebody? Okay, good. I'm happy to do that. Here's my roll sheet. I'll do it from that. George Mount.
I didn't have one.
Great. Well, oh, you're new to the class. Oh, great, lucky guy. Okay. Jelvon Butler and her study buddy. Oh, lucked out. Okay. Nancy V. Gomez. Right here. That's why the green machine is here. Thank you. Nicely typed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nicely typed. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Okay, you're a little different size. Okay. You're perfect. She stands before you, managing attention. They're talking. She's got her book open, communicating respect, finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi everyone, my name is Bree.
Hi, Bree.
I just want to note that I do keep her name out of it until the very end, so that is her very intention.
Exciting.
I want you all to close your eyes and imagine that you're peacefully sleeping in your bed. When all of a sudden, at 4 a.m., the police barge into your family's home. Startled, upset, and confused, you stumble around, exchanging frantic glances with your siblings and parents, trying your best to keep your composure and make sense of what is going on. For most of us, this is not a reality we've had to face, and for many of us, it's not one that we can handle with much grace. For the average individual, it's definitely not an experience that would spark the helper inside of them. But for my study buddy, this is only a part of what makes her so special. I have had the pleasure of meeting with her and speaking with her, and I'd like to give all of you the same opportunity by sharing with you 3 stories about her past as an aspiring veterinarian, her present as a UCLA student finding her way, and her future as an aspiring immigration lawyer. I am sure that you'll appreciate getting to know her as much as I have, because she is truly one of the most kind-hearted and helpful people I have ever met. Every so often, the universe hands us what I like to call little helpers. And these are people who serve to help make the lives of those around them just a bit easier. My study buddy is definitely one of those helpers. As a kid, she loved pets, and dogs in particular. One random day, her uncle surprised her family with a puppy, and it was the cutest little terrier anyone had ever seen. She reminisced about how she would spend all of her time with her new dog, Sparky. She loved the way he'd always curl up and rest his head on her lap and help her to feel better. He helped get her through tough times. If she was feeling sad or upset, Sparky always knew just what to do. She said that he always knew what to do to make her feel better. He always knew what to do to make her feel better. For years, she wanted to be a veterinarian because she believed that helping animals was so fun and amazing. Eventually, her interest began to change once she realized how much science was involved with being a vet, but her desire to help others still burns bright. Though her focus has shifted, my buddy just can't help but to extend a hand to those in need. At the start of this semester, as a newly admitted student, I was frantically looking through my phone trying to find a map to find my way to class. And all day I felt like I was asking everyone for directions. Until after this class, my buddy, seeing how lost I was, decided to walk with me and show me to my classes. And I didn't even have to ask her. She just saw how lost I was, and her first instinct was to help me, as if it was her second nature. And for her, I believe that it is. Currently, she's a third-year student who just recently transferred into the communications major. And like many of us, she's unsure of what the balance holds. So after discussions with friends and looking through courses, she finally decided on communication studies. She is now starting to think about how she would like to make her mark on the world, and her eyes are set on law. After her unfortunate run-in with the police entering her home, she has decided to go into immigration law. She shared with me that her mother is someone that she looks up to and aspires to be like. Like her mom, she has gone through a lot of different things, but she always remains strong and willing to lend a hand. So after sharing with you stories about her past, her present, and her future, I hope that you now feel like you know this Latino veterinarian / immigration lawyer, superstar helper, as well as I have. Her stories remind us that true kindness lies in giving to others without the expectation of something in return. So ladies and gentlemen, I give you Nancy Gomez. I'd just like to note that it takes a truly special individual to use a trying situation and turn it into something positive. As in her situation with the law enforcement, she could have used that as a reason to be resentful or hateful towards police, as most people might have done. But instead, she chose to turn that negative into a positive. And I truly wish you the best of luck on your journey to greatness. Thank you.
Thank you. Where are we? Here.
I really like your speech.
Say your name, please.
I
will.
I really liked your speech. I thought you talked with confidence and at an appropriate pace. Like, I never thought you were dragging or going too fast. And yeah, you just seemed very confident and comfortable up there.
Thank you, Will. Improvement. Real loud, Karen. Comm class.
Overall, I really liked your speech. I felt like you went at a really nice pace. But I think maybe if you knew your stories more and if you were a little less nervous, it would have been really good.
Good. Yeah, I liked your speech. You had good stories. You had us close our eyes. I didn't know when to open them again. I guess I should have kept them closed the whole speech. That was, I don't know about closing eyes, but it sounded like a horrible situation. We didn't really know why the police were coming, if it was a legitimate reason or not. We never were told, so that's all left a mystery. Your thesis preview was good. I want to warn you about something brief. You're on the verge of not being extemporaneous, but almost over practicing it too much to memorize it and to get exact phrases. And that was what was stumbling you up. When you practice, say it in your own words. It'll be different each time, but it will be more. But it'll be more powerful. Okay, so go with that. Your SIG statement was good. The little helper was, I like the metaphor of that. That was good. I like the story of her walking you to class. I thought that was a very telling story. The third story, again, you left it vague. I don't know why. It sounds like a good story. Your summary, your conclusion, and your tie back were all fine. Where's your connive? Better eye contact, meaningful gestures, and don't rush through it. How'd it go?
I don't think I rushed through it, but I still think I have the same thing about the gesture thing because I talk with my hands, so it's really hard for me to do it when it's appropriate.
Okay, well, what I would say is try to be natural with them. Let them be by your side. Let them gesture. If you're over gesturing, we will tell you. But overall, you did a nice job. Thank you. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We'll have to pick you up next time. Return with honor.
If we gave our introduction speech on Tuesday, should we give you our evaluation?
Not until you do your film speech.
No, okay.
Oh yeah. For next speech, I was supposed to do the outline based on the paper that you give us? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the paper I give you, follow it exactly.
Okay.
Go ahead. Oh.
Including the words in there.
I already have a self-evaluation for the respect speech. Should I give you right now, or
No, that's when you do the film speech.
Okay. Yeah. But should I give you two?